Right, so on the woofer, I've managed to get all of the white parts out of the dust cap, so when the plastic creases it goes white, and get some shape back into it, and it's not bad. I would be inclined to leave them at that rather than try and take the dust cap off and damage the woofer. It's not difficult to get the dust cap off, but it's a bit unnecessary really. So the way I've done that is to carefully heat the plastic dust cap with some tin foil on it, which softens the plastic. And then because we've got a hole in our pole piece, I can carefully introduce some compressed air, very low pressure in there, which then pushes out on the dust cap and sort of forms it again. And then with a cotton wool bud I can go in there and carefully work around it as well. So yeah, this one's come out reasonably well. This one still has creases in it like it had before, but it's now all the same colour. So let's give the suspension a good clean up. Bit of heat as well has also helped soften that up again, which is good. Get these treated, and I think the woofers are probably there. So isopropyl alcohol. Ew. Yeah, that's pretty nasty. Yeah, we're going to have to go over that a few times, I think. But already that's quite a lot better. Yeah, good. Right, it's going to take a bit of cleaning this, so I'll come back to you shortly. So that's what's come off of just one of them, and that's the cleaner one of the two. Yeah, that's pretty manky. Right, I continuously get asked what treatment I use for the rubber, and it's this stuff. Carbosonic, a rubber seal. It's just a rubber conditioner, the sort of thing you'd use on your car door rubber, window rubbers, that sort of thing. But I've tried a few different things, and this just seems to last. a lot of the treatments like this you put on and a few weeks later you're back to square one, but with this stuff it seems to really get in there and do the business. And already I can feel that rubber loosening up. I do go around the back as well. I use a little paintbrush and then these cotton wool buds as well. But it's normally the front that stiffens up because of the sunlight, UV. Just makes the rubber kind of seize up a bit. Yeah, better. Right, there we go. I think that's pretty damn good. Yep, nice. Right, so the other thing I want to do is just have a look at the DC resistance of these tweeters, so the original and the new, and just see how comparable they are. What I might do, I've got DATs set up in the office on the computer, and that would give me the impedance measurements for these across the different frequencies. Right, so the original is 5.4 and our leads at the moment 0.2, so 5.2. Let's see what our new one is. Call it 6, so we're nearly an ohm difference, so that's likely going to affect the roll-off frequency of the tweeter circuit. We will have to see, and also the two resistors that are in the tweeter circuit, I'm not going to replace those until this is in and measured, just to see if we have to adjust those at all to get the levels right. So yeah, let's see how that goes. Right, so we need to physically get this tweeter to fit, and we've got the connections each side on this, so we're going to have to take some of the material out the side to drop that in, but otherwise it physically fits, except we've got 4 screw holes instead of 3. So what I'll do with these, I'll fill them up probably with a bit of silicone, or I might just let the gasket go over them, just in case these ever have the original tweeters or new original old stock fitted in there. So yeah, I could use one of the original holes, but my other screws are all going to be wood screws, so they're not going to match. The original screws were countersunk as well. These don't have a countersunk recess in them, so we're going to use probably pan head screws. So I think we'll probably end up being like that. So what I want to make sure is we get these square. So we have about 38mm. Yeah, almost. 37. Yeah, 37, that looks good. Let's have a look at the bottom. $206. 206, bob on. So where that is there is spot on. Let's get our fine point Sharpie. And also as a final check, we will it says to me we're a little out. Not much though. Yeah, there's hardly anything in that. That's more like it. Cool. Right, so these are the screws I'll end up using. So I just want to find a drill bit that's just see the threads past, which I can. Perfect. Right, good. So what I want to do now is just crudely mark where we need to take a section out. Beautiful. So there we go, fits in there nicely. So there's a number of ways I could have done these. Could have done them with a router, but it's MDF, just pilot holes and a file. Doesn't take long, that took 5 minutes if that. Spot on. Let's do the other. Right, time to give these a bit of a sand up. So what I'm going to do, my orbital sander with a Hoover attachment, and I'm going to use some 400 grit, something really fine, because we don't need to dig too deep with these. So I'm at my router table, and turn on my fans as well. Right, and let's carefully clean these back. think we're going to have to use something a bit more coarse. Right, it's starting to come up good. A few white marks and things that are in there, so carefully try and get those out, but yeah, not bad. Right, so this one's been sanded and I didn't go any further. The front's come up really nicely. Side's pretty good. Top's good. So yeah, I've given the bottom a bit of a go as well. I've tried to keep this edge because this is finished MDF, so I don't really want to disturb that. It's not bad actually. Probably by the time we get some new oil on the veneer, that will sort of smarten up as well. But yeah, pleased with that. Right, let's get some oil on these. They've sanded back pretty nicely, so I'm going to use some Danish oil. I don't know what they were done with before. It might have been a lacquer, might have been a kind of shellac based oil or something. I don't know. But yeah, a few coats of this and they should be looking really good. Yeah, that's going to cover up the scratches in the bare-faced MDF as well. So this will take a number of coats to get right, get a good finish on it. So at the moment I just want to get kind of an undercoat, almost prime it. But yeah, you can see that's coming up nicely already. I'm quite a fan of oil-in veneer. You know, some people lacquer it, that sort of thing. That way you can polish it back as well, but yeah, it just works well. I've got some other oils and things coming, shellac based, which I want to give a try. Yeah, that's going to be good. That's going to be really good when that's done. Hopefully you can see that all right. Yep. So yeah, you just be reasonably sparing with it, and just build up the coats. It doesn't take too long to dry, especially if the wood is thirsty like it is now, where it's just been sanded. If you can, try and oil it with the grain. So what I'll do, I'll leave that on its back to go off a bit, and then get the other one done.